Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'll be looking at the Odyssey Red Ball putter. Now, if you're new to the channel, do remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you do not miss any of my reviews which come out every Sunday. If you're a returning viewer, hello and welcome to this week's review. Now, this week, as I mentioned just a second ago, I'm looking at the Odyssey Red Ball. So if you're not new to the channel, you'd have seen this appear in my sort of alternative bag video I had, which I did probably about a month ago, a month and a half ago, and you'll also have seen it in my sort of putter collection videos, which I've been going through my putter collection, which is behind me, which also has a few drivers in there as well. I might have to do a drivers collection video for you as well, because I've got quite a few cool drivers. Anyway, we're getting off track here. So the Red Ball. Now, I actually picked this up years ago, to be fair. And the idea is because of this Red Ball there. So you can't really see it there, but there's a Red Ball here. And the idea to see if having that Red Ball, which is the whole point, is a sort of alignment aid, well, not really alignment aid, but sort of an aid to help you make sure that the putter stays square and stays flat. So you're not too much on the heel, or you're not too much on the toe, or you're not having the club facing up in the air, so you're just going to top the ball when you come through. I just thought it'd be a really cool thing to try and see if it's any good. So there's a reasoning for this review today. Now, as always, let's have a closer look at the club. Then I'm going to talk about all the technology that's in it, get down to the course, because I took this out and I played 18 holes at Hobridge actually the other day, which I really enjoyed. And then we'll get back here and we'll talk through the ACS Golf Scale and what I think about this putter. Okay? All right. Let's have a closer look at the club. So there you go, a closer look at the club. I really do like this sort of the red and the white and the sort of grey, I would say. It's a sort of blacky grey. I don't know if it's supposed to be black, but I really like the looks of it. I think it's a really cool looking putter, and obviously very different with that sort of the missing there, where they've actually taken out the sort of the putter there, which I'll explain that later. It's one of the features, and obviously with that Red Ball in the middle. Now, quickly before I get into the features, let's just have a closer look at that Red Ball with the idea of what happens when I move the club around a bit and the Red Ball isn't in the position it should be. So the idea with this Red Ball is you want to see the whole ball just like there. Now, if I start moving it, so onto the toe or the heel, etc., then the Red Ball gets hidden a little bit by the black circle, which is the idea then is the putter isn't flat. So there you go, a closer look at the Red Ball in action with the idea, if it's, as I mentioned, if it's right in the middle, the club is flat, you're not on your heel toe, leaning your face forward, etc. And if it starts to disappear a little bit and you can sort of see now the black circles covering the Red Ball, then it's sort of not aligned properly. Now, going on to all the technology in here, I managed to get this off Odyssey's own website, which I love when you get that, especially, if you ever want to read about clubs, sometimes it's great just to hear it off their own website because everything's just so exaggerated and makes everything sound amazing. PXG are great at it. Don't get me wrong, I really love PXG, especially their new stuff. But if you ever want to sort of read it and go, okay, well, that's a bit weird, read their website. It's great. But anyway, back on to the Odyssey. So off their website, I'll read you all the spiel right now for you guys. So this is how they started the article. Set yourself up to make putts. So we built the new Odyssey Red Ball putters specifically to address and improve on two things: a proper setup and a proper alignment. Obviously these white lines and that whole sort of white look there is with the alignment, and then the Red Ball is for the proper setup. Having the right setup and alignment is crucial for any player, and this innovative new design is all about getting you properly positioned over the ball. We've put a distinct red ball, there you go, inside the scope of the putter, so it's incredibly easy to align to the face to the intended start line on every putt. Combined with the black, all right, they say it's black, I definitely think it's more of a grey, but they say it's black, and white framing from our proven Versa high contrast alignment, this forgiving mallet removes the variables in your setup. And that's how we're able to get the right setup and the proper line every time you're over the ball. With all this technology and the legendary sound, feel and roll from the White Hot RX insert, you have everything you need to become a more consistent putter. So there you go, there's a little spill. And then we go on to this. So we got the Red Bull for easy and consistent setup. So there you go. There you go. The innovative Red Bull in the scope of the putter allows you to consistently get into the proper setup over the ball. We have the improved alignment from Versa. So our proven Versa high contrast technology helps with you align the putter so you get the setup on your intended line. There you go. That's, to be honest, for me, let's stick it there. You can see it there. For me, that's the main reason, to be honest. I prefer a mallet, or at least a bigger putter, just because of the alignment aid really does sort of help me to get the ball going the right direction. I'm not a fan of using the actual, you know, the lines you get on the putters, on the ball, sorry. I'm not a fan of using those alignment aids on the ball. I always sort of second guess myself when I'm trying to line it up like that. So I much prefer to have the alignment aid on the putter and use that instead of the ball. So that's good. Now you've got the White Hot sound and feel. A White Hot RX insert provides legendary sound, feel and great roll. To make more putts, you have to get the line and the speed right. Combining Red Bull and Versa with White Hot will help you just do that. Perfect. Exactly what you want. And then more forgiveness from a mallet shape. With our mallet design in Red Bull, we're able to take weight out of the center, which they've done here, of the head, and redistribute it into the perimeter of the head. This is how we're able to concentrate the weight driving up the MOI significantly for more consistent speeds and directional control. So the idea here is that instead of having sort of weight here, they've taken the weight out, put it on the edge in this ring around here, with the idea if you hit the sides, the ball's relatively going to stay straight and they're still going to come out sort of relatively the same pace. And the club isn't sort of going to move that much because you've got sort of that weight at the back to keep it straight. So a lot of technology in there. White Hot RX insert. You know, obviously Odyssey is all about the insert, unless you're going into the Toulon range where it's then milled. Normal Odyssey range does have that insert. I think they've got a few other types of insert as well, but the White Hot one is the sort of majority one they use. And to be honest, very nice. We'll go more into sort of the feel later, but can't complain with that. Going obviously into the technology as well. This is a 2018 club, so just going into sort of the added bits. Odyssey grip, which is our own grip. Quite nice. Personally for me, I prefer a little bit of a bigger grip. This is quite small, but that's fine. And it's something to consider when you're buying a putter, because a lot of people don't realise, but the grip is actually to help this basically stay in line. Pretty much, it's supposed to be balancing to help it stay balanced. So, you know, this is quite a small grip. If you then put a massive one, which is different weight, the club might not be as well balanced as it is. So do think about that before possibly changing the grip on the putter. Also, just looking at the head cover. Very nice head cover. Can't complain about this. Look at that. Nice soft inside. Magnet there, which I'm a massive fan of. So yeah, just good quality stuff from a 2018 club. You know, looks good. All right, now let's get down to the golf course. As I said, Hobridge. I'll talk about what I felt when I was playing with it, feel, etc. And then we'll get back into the studio and do the ACS golf scale. Okay.
Here I am down on Hobridge and a lovely sunny day. Now, it's been quite rare actually in the UK over here at the moment. While I'm doing this, it's actually raining outside. So if you hear any rain in the background with this voiceover, I do apologise. Now, straight into this putter. Now, normally I would give you how many putts I've hit with it, sort of the indication of how well I've got on with it. But obviously you can see here in this video, the greens have been sanded and stripped. So it's not really a fair reflection on the putter to give you that figure. Normally, if I did, I'd want to be around that sort of 33 mark or below. That's normally on average for me. So Again, I think the figure was pretty close to that, but I think there's a few putts that I definitely missed because of the ground. So I'm not going to give you that figure. So let's ignore that. Now, let's go straight into the feel of this. Now, I really do like that white hot insert. It's not too hard, but it's not too soft. It's sort of in the middle. It's a really nice feeling thing, and it's obviously not as soft as a milled face would be, but it, you know, Odyssey's had that insert for years. You know, they know what they're doing, and it feels really nice off the face. So when it came down to distance control, I will say obviously with any putter it takes some time to sort of get used to it, but I really did find near the end of the sort of the 18 holes I was really nailing the distance down very well. So I was really happy with that. Alignment, you know, having that sort of the white over the back and the black as well, it really did help sort of align up the ball. The red ball itself in the middle, I did sort of find that actually a bit more distracting than helping, but I think it's something you could definitely get used to if you're using the club more and more. You know, I was looking down at it going, all right, I need to slightly change this, move this, and then next thing I know, I'm concentrating more on that and where, rather than where actually the ball is going. So that wasn't too great. When it comes down to forgiveness as well, obviously this is a mallet putter, so any sort of hits where it's off the side of the face or not directly in the middle, I really didn't feel like I was punished at all. Generally, very
So
nice.
there you go, down on the course of it. And I have to admit, I really did enjoy it. It's a shame about the greens just being sort of aerated there, because there's definitely a few putts where it just didn't quite go in, just that last bobble and ended up right. But generally just really happy with the performance, really enjoyed it. Was quite surprised with it, to be fair, because now to be honest, I use quite premium putters. You know, I'm sort of using Bertinardi's. At the moment, I've got Scotty Cameron back in the bag, so more premium, sort of double the price really of what this is. I mean, obviously do that range to Toulon, but you know, I don't really take out or use. I've done lots of testing on your sort of lower price models, but I don't really normally use the sort of mid-range putter, because this is definitely mid-range. It's not cheap, it's not budget, it's definitely mid-range. And I was really surprised about it, really. I just think that I wouldn't, you know, if someone put that in my hand and said, go and use that, I wouldn't say, you know, probably because I know Odyssey, obviously I know the brand, I wouldn't say there's a £300 putter, but I wouldn't be looking between the two of them and go, like, say, a Scotty Cameron and go, well, this one feels 10 times, you know, double worse than the Scotty because the Scotty's double the price. I wouldn't say that at all. So really, really impressed with it. If we go on to the ATS golf scale, obviously distance, not applicable. I don't particularly want to try hit this off the tee, say off a par four. I'm not going to try that. It won't end well for anyone, especially not the putter, and not for my confidence. So I won't be trying that. So distance is not applicable. Then let's go on to forgiveness first. Forgiveness, 4 out of 5. Mallet with the weight at the back there. There's a few times I definitely didn't hit the front of it, but the ball pretty much stayed true to where I was aiming and had good pace still. So 4 out of 5, plenty of forgiveness in here, as you would expect from a mallet-shaped putter. So happy with that. Looks, I've given it 4 out of 5. I have given it 4 out of 5. I do like the look. All right, the black slash grey with the white and the red where the ball is. I do think it's a really nice putter, and I do like the look of the white hot face as well. I do really enjoy it, and I do enjoy the putter cover as well. So 4 out of 5, very good looking club. Not a huge fan of having a hole in the middle, to be fair, personally for my eyes, but I understand why it's there. So that's why 4 out of 5. Now, going on to the feel and this white hot insert, 4 out of 5. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's as soft. Doesn't feel as soft as, say, Scotty Cameron's coming in the bag, which is a milled face. I think if you're very much used to milled face putters, this might be a little bit hard for you because it's an insert. It's not a milled face, so it's not as soft that I've ever felt, but it's soft enough. Basically, it feels, I don't know, just confident. Really, it's soft enough. I like the sound of it. I feel like I can really control the sort of distances. Sometimes with a putter that's definitely too firm, I feel like it's way too hot off the face and it just the ball just flies even if you tap it. With this, it's very much middle ground. I was able to control my distances well. I enjoyed the feel of it, where not too soft, not too firm, sort of in the middle, but closer to soft, I would say. So maybe 3/4 towards soft. So really nice feel, really enjoyed it. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5, as I said. Just a really nice feeling, solid putter. So there you go. If you never tried Odyssey before, you know, and you like inserts, do try it, because the White Hot, you know, it is a really nice insert, to be fair. And that's why they keep on putting their putters. It is really good. Now on to price. So here we go. Now price, I've given this a 3.5 out of 5, and I'll get into that. So when this was released in 2018, July 2018, in the UK it was £169. In the US it was released at just under $180. So as I said earlier, it's very much a mid-range putter. You know, it's not above the 250, 300 mark where you get your real premium ones, and it's not below or around that 100 mark, which is sort of the more budget ones. They don't necessarily are budget. I know TaylorMade, especially this year, have some around that point which are very good, but they are, the idea is they're the more budget ones if you're looking for brand new putters. So very much that middle sort of price. So you know, you'd expect middle ground, which, as you know, I said, I think it's actually performed really well. You know, a lot of fours out there, so I think if anything, it's performed better than middle ground. Now, going to price for 3.5, the reason it's a 3.5 is because I feel like it's very much priced as everything else in this market. This mid-range sort of putter that's a couple of years old would be based at. So if we're talking for like golf clubs for cash over here in the UK with second-hand store, so same places like Replay Golf in America, I know the PGA stores. If anyone's watching this from another country, so Canada, US, I know if you guys watch from Australia, do comment down below on what your second-hand stores are, because I'm not too sure what they are. Even though I have been to the US a few times and been in golf stores, I can't remember what your second-hand stores are called. So do let me know down in the comments. I'll be really interested about that. But so from your second-hand stores, you know, like golf clubs for cash over here in the UK, you're looking at sort of £95, which is about $120. On eBay, it's very similar, to be fair. Again, around that sort of £93, or one for £100. So you're talking about $115, $125. So it's around that sort of £100 mark, $125 mark. If you get lucky, I mean, I did see one go for £45, a bit bad, but if you get lucky, you will find them for cheaper. But the thing about this is they're actually quite rare. There's not really that many on the market, but obviously with Odyssey you can get things very similar. You can get a Versa, etc. A lot of things with the White Hot insert and the lines and the mallet, which will give you, you know, the forgiveness you need. So very much in that sort of price point. You know, if you're looking for a cheaper putter, then maybe you start looking at Cleveland from 2018. We'll start from 2018 where you may get it for like £60, £70. Not their newer stuff though, the newer Wilson stuff and the newer Cleveland this year. A lot of people are saying are great, and the price of them have gone up, so do be aware of that. But very much where it is. I'm giving it 3.5 because even though it is where you would expect this sort of line of putts to be, I was really impressed with it. So I think if you bought it, I don't think you would be disappointed. So with the feel, etc., and the look. So 3.5 out of 5. Now, finally, let's finish off on the Red Bull itself. Did I find this help for me on the golf course? And the answer for me is no. I like the idea. I think if someone is just taking up golf, if they've never really putted before, haven't had any lessons or anything like that, then yes, I think it could really help you because it could make sure that that putter is flat. But for me, you know, I've been playing golf for a good few years now. Can't try and get out of golf course every week. I'm very much used to my putting stroke, and the only thing I sort of found out is I was actually probably more a little bit on my heel normally when I putt than actually having it straight flat. But then if you look at a lot of the pros, some of them are on their heels. So, and I found that sort of stroke that works for me and performs well for me. So I was finding that I was looking at it going, oh, I'm a little bit on my heel, and then I'm putting it in the middle, and then it's sort of taking me off of what I'm trying to do with the putter. And then next thing I know, I'm I'm missing a part left, I'm missing a part right, because I'm concentrating too much on the red dot rather than what I need to be doing actually on the course. So for me, I found it a hindrance. I found it a bit annoying. The moment I realised that, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to forget about it and just enjoy the putter itself, use alignment aids, the white marks, etc. Then I performed a lot better with it and had some really nice putts. So if you are a seasoned golfer, you know, you've been practicing, you've got your putting down to a T. Do I think there's a putter for you? No, I don't. I think the red ball might just bring in some issues, you know, because you might realise you're not quite flat, and then next thing you know, you're trying to do that, and then it's all gone to pot. If you're new to the golf, or you really, really struggle with your putting, then yeah, I think it's definitely worth giving it a go. I like the idea of it. I like the feature. It's a bit like Seymour as well. I've actually got a friend who uses a Seymour putter with the idea you have a red mark. I think it's there. And if you got the shaft lined up with it correctly, then you can't see the red mark. So is that sort of they're sort of similar to that. And I think they do help. If you're really struggling with putting, they do help. But if you've got your putting down to the tee, but you just fancy a new putter, more than happy to go for it, because it's a great looking putter. It really performs well, but just be aware not to concentrate on the red dot too much, because it could end up making things worse rather than better. So there you go. Finally reviewed the red ball. I always want to say red dot. Don't know why. Red ball, because it is actually a ball. You can see it there. It's not a red dot. There is actually a little red ball there. So review of the red ball putter. Overall, great putter and very good from Odyssey. So there you go, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. If you've ever played with a red ball or Seymour, anything with those sort of aids to keep the putter a bit flat, do let me know in the comments. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay? I'll catch you guys next week for the next ACS Golf Review. See you then. Bye-bye.